The first thing I felt was cold. Not the airport AC, not the marble floor under my shoes. Something colder, deeper. Like someone had reached inside my chest and squeezed. Because when I stepped up to the counter, smiling faintly, passport in hand, imagining the quiet aisle seat I'd booked weeks ago, the agent looked at her screen, frowned, typed something again, then looked at me with that careful expression people use when something bad is about to land on your head. "Ma'am, your ticket has been canceled." For a second I thought I'd misheard. Canceled. I stared at her, blinking, unable to process the word. It sounded distant, like an echo traveling through a long, dark tunnel. No, that's not possible," I said, forcing a laugh that cracked halfway out. "I booked it myself. I have the confirmation email. I checked in last night." The agent's fingers hovered awkwardly over the keyboard. "I understand, but it was canceled through the app today at 8:17 a.m. My stomach flipped. 8:17. 14 minutes ago. I opened the airline app with shaky hands, heart pounding as if trying to punch its way out of my chest. Instead of the check-in page, I saw a bright red banner across the top. Flight canceled. Refund processed. Refund processed. To the card I knew wasn't mine. Because I hadn't used my card. I'd used the emergency credit card my mother kept linked to my online accounts. The one she let me use, only for approved reasons. The one she once called a privilege you can lose anytime. My phone vibrated. A message from Mom. "Have fun walking home, loser." I swear the airport sounds, the rolling luggage wheels, the chatter, the announcements, collapsed into a dull, suffocating hum around me. My throat tightened so fast I almost choked on my own breath. For a moment I just stood there, clutching my phone, waiting to wake up. Waiting for a second text explaining it was a joke. Waiting for anything that wasn't this sharp, humiliating burn spreading across my face. But another text followed. "Next time, don't lie to me. Actions. Consequences." What lie? What consequences? I swallowed hard, feeling the awful sting of confusion and something worse, recognition. This wasn't new. My mother's punishments had always been dramatic, disproportionate, and delivered with surgical cruelty. But this, canceling a flight, stranding me at the airport, this wasn't petty. It was intentional humiliation. I forced a steady breath and stepped aside so the line behind me could move. I sat on a bench near gate 21, the cold metal biting through my jeans as I tried to gather myself. I typed back. "What are you talking about? Why did you cancel my ticket?" Delivered. Seen. No reply. I tried calling. Declined. Again. Declined. My pulse throbbed in my neck. I knew this pattern. She wanted me panicking. She wanted me wrecked and begging for clarity she'd withhold like oxygen. I dropped my face into my hands for a second, fighting the rising tide of heat behind my eyes. Not here. Not in front of strangers. Breathe. When I lifted my head, the world sharpened again. People moved around me, boarding flights, meeting loved ones, starting vacations, while I sat here, discarded like something disposable. My chest clenched painfully. This wasn't about a ticket. This felt like something else. Bigger. And that thought scared me. I needed answers. Even if I hated where they might lead. I dragged my suitcase behind me, wheels clicking sharply against the glossy floor as I headed toward the airport cafe. Somewhere I could sit, think, and try to come up with a plan. With no flight home, no backup card, and only enough cash for maybe an Uber, I felt cornered. The cafe was warm, filled with the smell of espresso and something sweet in the oven. I sank into a booth and stared at my phone again. Still nothing from her. I scrolled through my messages looking for something, anything, that might hint at what set her off. 2 nights ago. Me. "I'm leaving Friday morning. I told you this already. Mom. You didn't. And you didn't ask permission. Me. I'm 23. I don't need permission." I winced. That must have been it. That's all it took with her. One slip of independence, one reminder that I wasn't her puppet, and she'd retaliate. Except, a chilling realization crept in as I replayed the conversation. Why was she so determined to keep me from this trip? I wasn't going on vacation. I wasn't going to meet a guy. I wasn't running off for adventure. I was supposed to be flying back to my boyfriend, Ethan. We'd been together for 3 years. He lived 7 states away for work, and the distance had been hard but manageable. Last month he asked me to visit him, said he missed me too much to wait until Christmas. My mother hated the distance. She pretended to hate him too, said he stole my focus, said he wasn't good enough, but I always thought it was jealousy more than genuine concern. She never liked anyone who made me feel loved without her being the source of it. But her reaction this time, canceling a fully paid ticket, refunding it without asking, mocking me, that wasn't normal, even for her. An uneasy knot formed in my stomach. What wasn't I seeing? I tried calling Ethan next. He usually picked up within 2 rings, especially if I was traveling. But this time it rang. And rang. And rang. Voicemail. Weird. I checked our chat. Me last night. Boarding at 9 a.m. Can't wait to see you. I love you. Ethan. Love you too. I'll pick you up. Nothing since. I typed quickly. Call me when you wake up. Something's wrong. Sent. Then another thought hit me. What if Mom contacted him? It wouldn't be the first time she crossed boundaries. But why would Ethan go silent too? I felt that creeping cold again. The cafe door chime breaking my spiraling thoughts. A couple walked in laughing softly, leaning into each other. Something about their closeness twisted inside me. A sharp reminder of the distance, literal and emotional, that had begun forming between Ethan and me lately. He'd been distracted, less talkative, nervous sometimes, too quick to change the subject when I asked about work or his plans. I'd convinced myself he was just stressed. But now every red flag felt like a warning I'd ignored. I was halfway through my coffee when my phone finally buzzed. Not Ethan. Not Mom. My cousin Raha. A single message. Are you okay? My heart stuttered. Why would she ask that out of nowhere? I typed. Why? Did something happen? 3 dots. Then they disappeared. Then appeared again. Finally, Auntie posted something. I don't know if you saw. Posted. Posted what? My palms went damp as I opened Facebook. I scrolled to my mother's profile. A new post made 20 minutes ago. A photo. Of me. At 15. Tears in my eyes. Sitting on the ground in my bedroom hugging my knees. A picture she had taken during an argument, something I'd begged her to delete. She captioned it. When your daughter lies, manipulates, and runs off to cheat on her boyfriend, this is what happens. Actions. Consequences. Everything inside me went still. Cheat? Cheat on who? My throat closed, my vision blurring at the edges. It felt like someone had punched through my chest and pulled the air straight out of me. Comments flooded the post. Family members pitying her. Confused neighbors. A few judgmental acquaintances. My mother had publicly announced that I was unfaithful. That I had betrayed Ethan. That I was running away to cheat again. Again? Again. My hands trembled violently. This wasn't humiliation. This wasn't punishment. This was character assassination. Delivered by the one person who was supposed to protect me. But why? What was she hiding? Because people don't go nuclear without a reason. And my mother? She was ruthless, but she was also calculated. Something pushed her to do this. Something she didn't want me to discover. My breath hitched as a terrifying possibility surfaced. What if this wasn't about me at all? What if it was about Ethan? And what if she knew something I didn't? I stood from the booth so quickly my coffee spilled. I didn't care. I grabbed my suitcase and walked out in a shaky blur, heading for the airport exit. I couldn't stay here and wait. I needed to do something. Think. Plan. Move. Outside, the cold wind slapped my face, grounding me. I dialed Ethan again. Ring. 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 Then, hello. But it wasn't Ethan's voice. It was female. Soft. Sleepy. Comfortable. My heart dropped so violently it felt like the pavement tilted under my feet. I said nothing. She said nothing. A beat. 2. 3. Then she whispered like she already knew. Hello? Ethan's phone. My entire body went numb. The betrayal wasn't coming. It was already here. And my mother, somehow, knew first. For a moment I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The woman's soft voice seeped into every crack inside me, widening them, turning my bones hollow. Hello? She repeated, quieter this time, cautious. My mouth was dry. My thoughts were a mess of static and jagged images. I forced my voice out, barely more than a whisper. Who are you? A pause. A shift in her breathing. Then the unmistakable rustling of sheets. I'm. More hesitation. Then finally. I'm Lena. Lena. A name Ethan had mentioned once or twice while telling me about his workplace. A coworker. No, now it was clear. More than that. Where's Ethan? I asked, though a part of me already knew the answer. Another rustle. Then footsteps. A door closing in the background. He's in the shower, she said softly. He forgot his phone outside. I didn't think. She stopped. Maybe she realized there was no version of this that wouldn't hurt me. My throat tightened. How long? The question escaped before I could stop it. Silence stretched. Heavy. Punishing. Then. A few months. Months. My knees buckled and I sat down on the cold curb outside the airport, clutching the phone like it was the only thing keeping me from falling apart completely. I wasn't crying. Not yet. The numbness was too thick, too consuming. It sat on my chest like a weight I couldn't lift. Ethan. My mother. A stranger answering his phone. The world felt tilted, unfamiliar, dangerous. Did you know about me? I asked. A shaky inhale from her end. Yes. My lips parted in disbelief. And you still? I thought he was ending things with you, she said quickly, like that somehow made her better than she was. He told me your relationship was basically over, that you were just being kept around because he felt guilty. The words hit me like blows. Each one sharp. Each one ripping away something I thought was safe. Guilt. Pity. That's why he stayed. Lena's voice wavered. I'm sorry. I didn't expect you to call. Something bitter rose in my throat. A laugh. A sob. Something broken. You're in his bed right now, Lena. Silence again. A silence filled with guilt she couldn't word. The bathroom door opened on her end. Lena. Ethan's voice muffled. She gasped. I have to go. The line clicked dead. The world went quiet. I stared at the phone, hoping idiotically that maybe I'd hallucinated all of it. That I'd wake up. That the last 30 minutes would reverse themselves. But reality stayed exactly where it was. A hard, sharp stone lodged inside me. The betrayal wasn't a moment. It was a shattering. Slow. Cruel. Calculated. And now I understood why my mother had acted like a bomb set to explode. She knew I was flying straight into a lie. But why lie about me? Why humiliate me? Unless she wanted me to be too broken to ask questions. Too distracted to look deeper. Too devastated to see something else she was hiding. A different betrayal. Parallel one. A possibility sparked in my mind, small but dangerous. My mother wasn't protecting me. She was protecting herself. I wiped my face with trembling hands and forced myself to stand. I couldn't stay outside the airport. The cold wind made everything sharper, more real. And I needed a moment to think before I crumbled completely. Inside, I found a quiet corner near the large glass windows overlooking the runway. Planes took off in the distance. People leaving, people arriving, people moving forward while I felt stuck in a nightmare. My phone buzzed. A message from Ethan. Hey babe, just woke up. Sorry I didn't pick up earlier. I stared at the message, my blood turning hot. So he was out of the shower now. So he was awake. So he was lying already. I typed back. I talked to Lena. Read. Instantly. The typing bubble appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then. What did she say? He didn't deny. Didn't even pretend he didn't know who she was. My fingers trembled, but my thoughts were strangely clear. Enough. I waited. Ethan didn't reply. Coward. I blocked him. The moment I did, something inside me cracked. A strange mix of grief, fury, release, and humiliation all tangled together. I let out a shaky breath and sank back against the cold wall. My chest ached. Every inhale felt like swallowing splinters. But I wasn't done. There was one more betrayal left to confront. My mother. I dialed Raha. She picked up instantly. Oh, thank God. I've been calling you non-stop. Are you okay? What happened? Why did Auntie post that? Everyone's talking. Did she tell anyone why she posted it? I asked. Raha hesitated. She told my mom she caught you sneaking around with some guy at a cafe 2 months ago. She said she had proof. My heart hammered. I wasn't with a guy, I said, confusion deepening. 2 months ago. I was with Auntie herself at the clinic for her appointment. That's what I told my mom, Raha said. But Auntie said you left afterward to meet someone. I closed my eyes. A memory flashed. A moment so small I'd forgotten it. After the clinic, my mother had left early because she got a call from a friend. I stayed back to pick up the prescription. When I came out of the pharmacy, she wasn't outside yet, so I waited at the cafe next door. I sat alone at a table by the window sipping tea, scrolling through my phone. Alone. Unless she took a picture of me through the glass. A picture of me sitting alone. Easy to twist. Easy to frame. And she had. Raha's voice broke through my thoughts. She posted it in the family group. The picture. But it was blurry and far away. You can't see anyone else. Just you at a table. My stomach twisted. My mother had been building this lie for weeks. Not to protect me from Ethan, but to protect Ethan from me. The truth slammed into my chest, brutal and undeniable. She knew he was cheating. She'd known before I did. And rather than tell me, rather than help me, rather than be a mother, she chose him. She chose to ruin me first so that when I finally discovered the truth, I'd look like the unstable, jealous, lying daughter, not the victim. My legs shook with the weight of it. This wasn't betrayal. This was strategy. My mother had sided with Ethan. Helped him hide it. Helped him manipulate me. Because she hated the idea of me having a life that wasn't chained to hers. She would rather break me than lose control of me. Raha, I whispered, voice trembling. Can you pick me up from the airport? I'm already outside, she said. I came the moment I saw the post. My breath escaped in a shudder. Relief. Gratitude. Pain. Okay, I said softly. I'm coming. Raha's car was idling by the curb when I stepped outside. She jumped out as soon as she saw me and pulled me into a tight hug. I hadn't cried yet. But when her arms wrapped around me, warm and honest and safe, the tears came. Hard. Ugly. Shaking. Raha held me like she understood everything without needing words. When I finally pulled back, her eyes were wet too. Come on, she whispered. Let's go home. But I didn't move. Viz home. Home wasn't home anymore. I wiped my face and shook my head. I'm not going back there. Where will you go? I looked at her, my voice steadier than I expected. With you. Or anywhere that isn't her house. Raha didn't hesitate. Then you're coming with me. We got in the car. And for the first time in hours, I breathed without feeling like the air was cutting me. As we drove, my phone buzzed again. Mom calling. I ignored it. She called again. And again. Then a text. Don't embarrass yourself further. Come home. Another. Everything I did was for your own good. Then finally the mask slipping. Ungrateful girl. Don't make me come find you. A cold calm washed over me. I typed one message back. I know everything. Stay away from me. I blocked her too. And with that simple action, the world shifted. The chains she'd wrapped around my life loosened. Not fully, not cleanly, not painlessly, but they loosened enough for me to take my first real breath. I rested my head against the car window, watching the airport fade behind us. I had been betrayed by a lover. I had been betrayed by a mother. But I wasn't broken. Not completely. Not anymore. Because sometimes the moment you lose everything is the moment you finally begin.